Captain Planet and the Planeteers is a TV show that captured kids' hearts in the 90s. With 6 thrilling seasons and a total of 113 action-packed episodes, this animated series is a timeless classic that continues to inspire audiences worldwide. It's all down to the show's ability to tell emotional stories. Captain Planet and his team of eco-warriors battle villains who threaten the balance of nature. Let's immerse ourselves in the adventures of Captain Planet as he takes on the challenges of protecting our planet. Gaia, the spirit of the Earth, is in grave danger because of the damage caused by humans. To counter this threat, Gaia creates 5 rings that grant powers to a group of young people. Kwame, from Africa, receives the power of Earth. Wheeler, from North America, the power of fire. Linka, from Russia, the power of wind. Guy, from Asia, the power of water, and Mati, from South America, the power of heart. These powers represent the elements of earth and love. By combining their powers, the 5 young men can summon the elemental warrior, Captain Planet. This superhero, with a strong sense of justice and humor, fights villains who threaten nature. Captain Planet's abilities are never clearly defined in the series, so he always has a way to defeat his enemy and solve the problem at hand. He can shape-shift and change his structure to take on the properties of any element or material, as well as similarly transform other objects. In several episodes, he flies, has great strength, and displays telepathic-empathic abilities. Captain Planet weakens when exposed to pollutants, radiation, or contamination. Like Gaia, he is bound to the physical realm of Earth. Although he can fly in space, his powers and form begin to fade when he travels away from the planet.
When the 5 powers combine, they summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet. The power is yours!
In the heart of a forest, a gigantic 4-legged machine advances relentlessly, led by a man named Hoggish Greedley, whose sole purpose is to extract all available oil. Arriving at the coast, he deploys a drill and begins to bore into the seabed. Meanwhile, Gaia, the spirit of the Earth, watches with concern as human activities wreak havoc on the environment, from oil spills to rampant deforestation and widespread pollution. Realizing the impending danger, Gaia calls upon 5 young people to help save the planet. Kwame from Africa, Wheeler from North America, Linka from the Soviet Union, Guy from Asia, and Mati from South America are chosen and given rings that give them control over the natural elements. Together, they are known as the Planeteers. On their first mission, the Planeteers must stop Hoggish Greedley and his assistant Lizard from polluting the coast. Aboard their vehicle, the Geo-Cruiser, they head for the destroyer machine. Gaia assures them that she will be in contact and reveals a secret. If they are in danger, they must combine their powers to summon Captain Planet. The Planeteers arrive just in time to stop the machine from doing more damage. Working together, they manage to stop the Geo-Cruiser from falling and confront Hoggish Greedley. Despite the villain's threats, the Planeteers unite and summon Captain Planet, who challenges Greedley and stops his destructive machine. However, Captain Planet is weakened by a poisonous liquid released by Greedley and is in danger of being crushed by the machine. With ingenuity and teamwork, the Planeteers save the captain and manage to destroy the machine. Although Greedley escapes, the Planeteers rejoice in saving the day and continue their mission to protect the environment. The episode ends with the Planeteers helping animals affected by pollution, while Captain Planet reminds them that the power to protect the Earth is in their hands. In the next episode, Africa's tranquility is interrupted by the appearance of hunters who capture elephants in search of ivory, a valuable prize they believe will bring them fortune. Meanwhile, in a secret factory, the leader of the poachers is excited about the huge profits he expects to make. On Hope Island, Gaia calls the Planeteers to inform them of the devastation the elephants are suffering from poaching. If the poaching continues, Gaia warns the Earth will be threatened and the animals will become extinct. The Planeteers pledge to stop Luton Plunder, the main perpetrator of this massacre. Once in Sierra Leone, The Planeteers confront the hunters and their aircraft as they attack a herd of elephants. After a tense confrontation, they manage to scare off the hunters, but the herd is still in danger. They decide to call Captain Planet, who arrives to protect the animals and stop the hunters. While investigating, the Planeteers find a female elephant whose mother has been captured. They decide to rescue her, but are ambushed by Luton Plunder and his henchmen. Caught in a trap, they manage to escape with the help of Jai, who uses a combination of powers to destroy the doors. Confronting Luton Plunder and his men, the Planeteers summon Captain Planet, who challenges the villain and frees the elephants from the factory. Meanwhile, Wheeler rejects the idea of giving Linka an ivory necklace, showing a change of perspective on poaching. Finally, Captain Planet is able to convince the hunter to stop hunting and look for alternatives to support his family. With the help of the local community, the people begin to work together to survive without relying on elephant hunting. The Planeteers bid farewell to the elephant and her mother, knowing that they have made a difference in their lives and in protecting the environment. The episode begins with the tranquility of the sea being disrupted by Hoggish, Greedly, and Lizard, who are over-capturing animals. On Hope Island, Guy learns of the capture and seeks out the Planeteers to stop them. Kwame accompanies them in the geo-submarine to the Big Net. They discover that they are catching more animals than necessary and confront Hoggish Greedly. While trying to free a dolphin, Kwame is trapped, but Guy saves him with her power. However, they get caught in the net next to the submarine. Ma-Ti receives their signal and sends Captain Planet, who rescues G and Kwame and frees the animals. Hoggish Greedly escapes, but Captain Planet takes the boat to the authorities. However, they are recaptured by Hoggish Greedly, who removes their rings and locks them in a capsule that is about to be crushed. The Planeteers manage to escape, regain their rings, and confront Hoggish Greedly. After a confrontation, Guy manages to retrieve the rings and calls Captain Planet, who captures Lizard and the guards. They free the animals and stop the contamination. Hoggish Greedly tries to escape, but is captured and tied to the ship. The Planeteers eventually defeat Hoggish Greedly and save the day. Luton Plunder and his accomplices. Hoggish Greedly, Dr. Blight, and Verminous Scum, planning to contaminate the city's water systems with toxic waste and then sell clean water. On Hope Island, Gaia alerts the Planeteers to the water contamination. When they investigate, they discover that Luton Plunder and Hoggish Greedly are selling clean water while polluting the aquifers. Guy and Wheeler attempt to follow them, while Linka, Ma-Ti, and Kwame investigate the cause of the pollution. Guy and Wheeler are captured by Plunder, but the others manage to communicate with Captain Planet. While searching for clean water for the city, they are confronted by a flood of contaminated water. Kwame, Ma-Ti, and Linka are rescued in a pipeline that Captain Planet has plugged, but he is injured. Meanwhile, Guy and Wheeler manage to escape from their cell and discover that the contaminated water resembles acid. They free Captain Planet and escape on geobikes, but Wheeler is recaptured. Captain Planet fights the villains at the water treatment plant, where the eco-villains hold Wheeler hostage. In a confrontation, Kwame saves Wheeler, and Captain Planet forces the villains to clean up their mess. In the end, the villains are defeated, and everyone is outraged at Plunder. Next day, Katie and Jerry arguing about the trash in the schoolyard. A shower of debris hits Jerry, but Katie saves him. On Hope Island, the Planeteers and Gaia see ships dumping garbage in the city. They discover that Hoggish Greedly and others are delivering garbage to the ooze to fill the ships. The Planeteers try to stop them, but are challenged when the ships dump garbage on them. They take shelter in a house where Katie lives, who shares their concern about the amount of garbage. Kwame is discouraged when his ring stops working, and he leaves, but Katie inspires him to action. Meanwhile, the Planeteers are captured and taken to a giant trash compactor. Kwame returns and rescues his friends, then fights Hoggish, Greedly, and Ooze. As he regains hope, his ring reappears, allowing him to summon Captain Planet. He defeats the villains and turns the ships into recycling bins, motivating the city to cooperate. The Planeteers recycle the garbage and turn it into a statue, proving that change is possible. Dr. Blight plans to attack Hope Island with her carbon dioxide smoking ship. She captures Linka and activates a force field around the island to heat it up. Gaia warns the Planeteers of the plan and the effects of global warming on them. The Planeteers attempt to break through the force field with the geo-submarine, but fail. Gaia is weakened. When Blight expands the force field to inject more smoke, the Planeteers escape and rescue Linka. They stop the carbon dioxide producing machine, but Blight tries to stop them. He finally falls into the sea and retreats with Emal. The Planeteers disable the machine and free Gaia. They call Captain Planet, who destroys the machine that generates the force field, causing a tsunami that destroys Blight's ship. Captain Planet stresses the importance of reducing carbon dioxide emissions to prevent future disasters. The Planeteers clean up the island and reflect on the need to take action against climate change. Dr. Derek Wheeler, a wheelchair-bound scientist, creates a computer simulation of a utopian world where pollution is controlled by advanced technology. However, his invention falls into the hands of eco-villain Dr. Blight, who uses her AI assistant Mal to infiltrate the simulation and wreak havoc by infecting the main computer with a virus. As a result, the virtual world begins to malfunction and pollution levels spiral out of control. The Planeteers must enter the simulation to confront Dr. Blight and Emal, restore order to the virtual world, and prevent the chaos from spilling over into the real world. Realizing the gravity of the situation, the Planeteers must act quickly to restore order. They must confront Dr. Blight's machinations within the simulated world while navigating its treacherous terrain. As they delve deeper into the corrupted simulation, the Planeteers encounter various obstacles and hazards designed by Dr. Blight to impede their progress. Despite the odds against them, the Planeteers remain determined to thwart Dr. Blight's plans and restore balance to the simulation. Through strategic thinking and perseverance, they devise a plan to neutralize the virus and erase the corrupted data from the main computer. With their mission accomplished, the Planeteers witness the simulation return to its pristine state, free from the grip of pollution and environmental degradation. Dr. Derek thanks the Planeteers for their heroic efforts in saving his creation from destruction. In the aftermath, Dr. Blight and Emal are apprehended, their attempt to exploit the simulated world thwarted by the Planeteers' intervention. The verminous scum breaks into a doctor's office and searches through medical records. He discovers that a basketball player named Todd Andrews has been diagnosed as HIV positive, and scum begins spreading rumors that Todd has AIDS, causing his teammates and the townspeople to turn against him. The Planeteers see scum's posters about Todd on walls all over town. Locals attack Todd's mother's vegetable stand. The Planeteers arrive to calm the angry crowd, but Todd disappears and takes refuge in an old shack. After a nightmare in which his girlfriend, his mother, his brother, his best friend, and his trainer express their disappointment, Todd decides to return, but discovers that the boat he used to get to the hut has disappeared. Mati uses the power of her heart ring to locate Todd, and the Planeteers summon Captain Planet, who brings Todd back. When the crowd, including scum, reacts angrily to Todd's presence at the school basketball game, Captain Planet and Todd's coach set the record straight. Captain Planet tells the crowd that they have been duped by lies, and the coach explains that they cannot contract AIDS through casual contact. As the crowd cheers for Todd, Scum and his rat sidekick try to escape, but are stopped by Captain Planet, who holds them long enough for the police to arrive and arrest them. The episode 13 opens with a grim scene in a dilapidated lab where puppies are confined to unsanitary cages, some showing signs of deformity. Dr. Blight, the antagonist, stands nearby, expressing satisfaction with her latest breeding efforts, which emphasize quantity over quality. She proudly reveals that she has genetically engineered these dogs to produce larger litters at a faster rate, with no regard for their well-being. Despite Mal's objections to the deformed state of the puppies, Dr. Blight remains indifferent, dismissing concerns about their health and focusing solely on profit. She mocks the guard dogs, Slasher and Lasher, and demonstrates her cruelty by using shock collars to control them. Moving to her puppy production line, Dr. Blight discovers a cage with only a mother and a pup, which infuriates her. She callously decides to abandon them, showing no regard for their lives. Meanwhile, Joey, a young boy mourning the loss of his puppy Skippy, suspects that Skippy came from a disreputable pet store called Puppies by the Millions. Joey's investigation leads him to Dr. Blight's lab, where he encounters mutant and suffering dogs. Despite Dr. Blight's attempts to capture him, Joey sets the dogs free, infuriating Dr. Blight. She traps Joey in a cage and orders her dogs to attack him. The Planeteers, environmental superheroes, search for Joey and eventually discover his whereabouts. They learn of the horrors of puppy mills from a dog breeder and confront the cruelty of these operations firsthand. However, they are captured while investigating one of the mills. Meanwhile, Joey remains trapped with the dogs until Lady, one of the dogs, intervenes to save him. With Lady's help, Joey escapes and joins forces with the Planeteers to confront Dr. Blight. Despite Dr. Blight's attempts to use Joey as a hostage, the Planeteers ultimately thwart her plans, destroying her remote control and freeing the dogs from their torment. As Dr. Blight attempts to escape, she's pursued by her own dogs, leading to her capture by the authorities. In the end, all the dogs are rescued and brought to safety, including Lady and her puppy, who are reunited with Joey. The episode ends with a heartwarming scene of Lady's puppy affectionately licking Wheeler's face, symbolizing hope and redemption amidst the darkness of animal cruelty. Thus ends the Captain Planet series, without a definitive ending, but with an enduring message about the importance of caring for nature, love, and friendship. This series has taught us the importance of protecting our planet and left us with the powerful lesson that the power to change the world is in our hands. The power is yours.